Have you ever thought that the more time you spend with people, the emptier you feel? You have heard that loneliness is a problem. Schopenhauer evaluated it as a condition related to intelligence. Stop for a moment and listen around you. The noise of meaningless conversations. Smiles that hide exhaustion. Why does silence feel more intimate than a crowd? Maybe you haven't lost the world. Maybe you chose not to need its noise. If existence is so valuable, why do you pay such a high price for your peace? Schopenhauer said, the more a man possesses, the less he needs from the external world. Therefore, staying at home is never a retreat, it is a reunion with yourself. Modern life tells you that noise is the source. It holds you while talking, sharing, performing, because controlling a quiet mind is difficult. When you leave social life, clarity emerges. Staying at home allows the soul to gather itself. Every thinker who sought truth first preferred to distance themselves from the crowd. A person can only be themselves when they are alone. Because in solitude you understand that staying at home is the best option. Yet many people resist solitude, even though it is rejuvenating. Let us begin with the most painful truth. You are tired, but you cannot even explain why. You went out. You spent time with people. You laughed at the right moments. You laughed even at jokes that weren't funny. You nodded during meaningless conversations. And now you are at home, exhausted, empty, and even your sense of loneliness deepens. What happened? You were surrounded by people yet felt invisible. You spoke words but did not express what came from within. You were there but disconnected from yourself. This is a bitter truth that no one tells you. Most human connection is like a stage. Noise similar to music, gestures that appear meaningful. Research shows that happiness is more associated with deep conversations than with superficial ones. Yet most social events are filled with shallowness, rehearsed politeness, and the same empty talk. Schopenhauer noticed this. The less intelligent a man is, the more mysterious existence becomes, he observed. Think about it again. Most individuals fill their lives with noise because they are afraid. The mystery of existence is to avoid questions that truly matter. By avoiding them, they suppress with conversations, distractions, and the false belief that loudness equals vitality. But you know something different. You felt it. That emptiness when leaving a party. Realizing you wore a mask for 3 hours. Leaving after discovering you made no real connection. The city continues with noise, screens glowing, and everyone calls it connection. But silence, reality begins here. Arthur Schopenhauer wrote, "Every individual takes the boundaries of his horizon for the boundaries of the world." Anyone who has never sat alone believes noise to be the only reality. He confuses the surface with depth. He thinks theater is reality, and remains trapped in shallow water, mistaking it for an ocean. When was the last time a conversation changed you? A conversation that organizes something inside you. You have hundreds of contacts on your phone, dozens of people you can message now, your social feed filled with faces, yet you feel existentially alone. How can this be? Carl Jung understood this. Loneliness does not come from having no one around, it comes from not being able to express what is important to you. You are not alone because you lack people. You are alone because you lack depth. Think about your last conversation. Did you really say what you thought? Did you express your true emotions? Or did you present a socially acceptable version? Most people confuse company with comfort. They think closeness means attachment. Yet attachment is not merely bodies together, it is the meeting of souls. This hardly ever happens. Research shows that individuals with high IQ seek solitude 2.5 times more than their peers. This is not dysfunction, it is awareness. Schopenhauer said, "High intelligence separates a man from society." Highly intelligent people do not withdraw because they dislike others, but because they seek originality, which is rare. They have reached genuine connection and believe imitation is no longer enough. You experience this feeling completely lost in a crowded room. Listening carefully to every word while eating with friends. Leaving interactions feeling as if pieces of your energy, authenticity, and true self were taken, and nothing was given in return. Arthur Schopenhauer said, "We sacrifice 3 powers of ourselves in order to resemble another." 3 powers. Think about it. You give away 75% of yourself just to fit in, to be accepted, not to disturb others. The person who learns to be alone stops this. The whole, contradictory, complex, real self can appear. This is true comfort. Not the empty approval of being liked, but the deep satisfaction of being yourself. And the moment you learn to be alone, loneliness dissolves. Loneliness stops being loneliness and becomes a refuge. In that silence, the cost of company becomes clear. You begin to notice what social life demands from you, subtly and constantly. Every conversation is a process. Some enrich you. Most bankrupt you. Every social interaction has a cost. And most people never calculate its price. When you think about it, most people never think deeply about anything. They repeat what they have heard elsewhere, move forward automatically, and are guided by culture, family, and habits. A person who dives into solitude realizes how little the noise of the world actually offers. Not with arrogance, but with awareness. Understanding seeks deep thoughts for genuine vulnerability. This is rare. What is mistaken for loudness is actually weakness. Yet when words influence the soul, instead of remaining on the surface, 2 souls feel they have met and relax. The wise person does not pursue quantity. They do not fill their calendars out of obligation. They do not measure their worth by how many names are known. Is there any meaning in being surrounded by individuals who cannot truly see you? You long not for more people, but for more real people. Instead, you turn inward, you take root. You maintain a few deep relationships or perhaps only a strong bond with yourself. This is not despair. It is intuition. The ability to sense whether your soul is genuinely nourished. As Schopenhauer repeated, a person can be himself when he is alone. You do not need more people. You need more depth. And that depth appears first in solitude, in long silent hours spent with your own thoughts. You will discover what you truly believe and why you believe it. This is where genuine connection begins, with yourself. Every hour you perform for others steals from the person you could become. Every moment spent comparing is an escape rather than a life. Every decision made to fit in means shrinking. You are shaped by external forces in society. Social expectations guide your decisions. The desire to be accepted affects what you say. The fear of judgment restricts your expression. You are shaped for others, by others, and outside your own standards. But when you stay at home and step away from these pressures, you find space to build yourself. Jung understood this. Enlightenment does not come by imagining figures of light but by making the darkness conscious. To be yourself requires confronting what you hide, what you reject, what you suppress. The world keeps you away from this process. It fills your attention with urgent but unimportant matters. Should I attend this event? Should I post that picture? What do people think of me? Am I keeping up with others? These questions constantly occupy your mind. While your attention is directed outward, your most important task, inner peace, is forgotten. Schopenhauer expressed it differently. A man can be himself only when he is alone. What does it mean for a person to contain more? Independent thinking, creating natural interests and inner sources of meaning, finding inner peace, uncovering creative potential, and knowing oneself become essential. None of these develop unless you shift your gaze inward. The directions you reject become seeds of creativity. But you cannot access this power while wearing a social mask. Every moment you play a role postpones important work. Every minute spent on gossip or superficial talk is time invested in performance rather than in thinking and creating. According to Schopenhauer, the more a person possesses, the less he needs from the external world. Staying at home is not an escape. It is the development of your most important necessity, your true self. And this begins the moment you stop performing. You understand that silence is an important starting point for discovering your true self. Modern culture glorifies movement, productivity, busyness, constant activity. If you are not doing something, you are wasting time. If you are not going somewhere, you have gone nowhere. If you are not producing, you are a failure. This is not true. Science and philosophers repeatedly state this. Silence is not a void, it is the beginning of thinking and creation. When the mind rests, creativity awakens. Researchers at Harvard and California found that creativity develops not through effort but through silence. When the brain is observed, it works gently, wandering without force. Solitude is the most suitable environment for creative leaps. The brain needs a period of rest to form new connections. Every experience needs processing. Every book you read must be digested. Every new idea you encounter must be examined. When do you create this time? Not while running from obligation to obligation. Not while checking your phone. Not while trying to maintain your social life. Only in moments of silence. In those moments spent alone at home when nothing demands attention. All great thinkers understood this deeply. They were not afraid of solitude, they embraced it. They knew their most valuable contributions would come not from frantic activities but from deep thought. Schopenhauer wrote, "Talent reaches what others cannot hit, while genius reaches what others cannot see." Goals unseen by anyone become visible in solitude, in silent spaces where conventional thoughts disappear. In places that allow something more original to emerge. This does not require extraordinary intelligence. It requires something simpler yet tested, the willingness to stop. To resist constant distraction. To believe something is valuable even when no visible result appears. Most people cannot do this. They interpret silence as an emptiness or boredom, a problem to be fixed. So they fill every moment with stimulation and remain superficial, never descending into the depth of experience. But you are different. You feel a call towards something more. You have carried the exhaustion brought by constant performance. You understood that to reach depth you must move away from the surface. In this silence, there is a hidden power, the power to control existence, the power to stop reacting and begin creating, the power to know yourself so deeply that you cannot be easily manipulated. When you stop chasing happiness through external success, you do not become disappointed. When you stop waiting for the world to fill you, you are no longer dependent on its mercy. Instead, you turn inward. You create sources within yourself. You gain the capacity to produce your own meaning, satisfaction, and sense of value. This silence is the source of hidden strength. It is the power to rule over your own existence. It is the power to release reaction and begin creativity. It is the power of self-knowledge, and this cannot be easily influenced. Silence is not weakness. It is where true strength is shaped, because you were not made for performance. You did not exist through the thoughts of others. You did not come to be measured by external standards. These are learned behaviors and therefore changeable. Staying at home does not mean being lonely. It means withdrawing your attention, energy, and originality from a world that constantly tries to crush you. It means creating space for the most important relationship you have, the relationship with yourself. Research separates social isolation from loneliness. Social isolation is not always harmful. Many people even desire being alone at least some of the time. What matters is learning to use it productively. Jung realized that his most valuable hours were such moments. When we see our true state rather than what we hope it to be, we can take the first step. You must confront yourself, not the performed self or the masked self, but the raw, honest, complex reality. This lies in solitude. You must cultivate inner richness. You must nourish your mind, deepen self-awareness, and clarify your values. You may wish to make your relationship with yourself the most fulfilling one. You do not need to escape the world. You must simply not allow it to consume you. You must set boundaries. You must take time for yourself. You must say no to responsibilities that drain you without nourishing you. You must show the courage to disappoint others so that you do not disappoint yourself. The noise of the world will continue. People will continue to perform. Demands for your attention will never end. But you have a choice most people never notice. Who will you be when no one is watching? You can choose solitude over an empty life. You can choose depth over superficiality, being yourself over being liked, self-development over external approval. As you repeat these choices, you reclaim your life. Not from others, because they were never truly you, but from the part of you that sought external validation, from the part that believed happiness was outside, from the part that feared being alone because being alone meant confronting yourself. You must face that person. You must know that person and become that person. Staying at home is not hiding from life, it is beginning it for the first time. You lost yourself not because you were weak, but because of your choices, because you chose noise over silence, performance over reality, depth over the shallow, quiet over the loud. Schopenhauer said, "He who does not love solitude does not love freedom." Silence always represents the beginning of truth. Stay at home, think deeply, be yourself, and discover the strength waiting for you in silence. All these words and thoughts invite you somewhere, to silence, to yourself, and to an inner room of purity. Perhaps you feel something touching you for the first time now, perhaps a burden you had not noticed has lightened, perhaps an inner voice says, "Yes, this is it." Even if this awareness seems small, it is a powerful beginning. Because sometimes a person changes direction with a single word, a moment, or a realization. Understanding the value of silence, the power of solitude, and the courage to face yourself are among the first steps of transformation. You do not have to live this transformation alone. These reflections form a quiet companionship, not one that observes but one that understands and does not judge. Here, connection is formed not through noise but through meaning. Speaking is not a performance but a careful engagement. Here, depth is sought, not crowds. And you are part of this space, whether you realize it or not. By listening to these thoughts you have already opened the door. If this video made you feel something, formed a question in your mind, or even made you think for a moment, "Yes, I live this," then sharing it matters greatly. Because awareness grows the more it is shared. When you converse with someone, silence reveals its meaning. When you write something, a thought spreads. When you share something, you enrich the meaning that someone else found in solitude. Comments are the heart of this quiet space. Every comment is a breath, a call, an echo. Therefore, writing your thoughts touches not only me but everyone who passes through the same path. Comments create a place where words meet and depth increases. Growth in this space needs your perspective. Similarly, if you feel these contents benefit you or increase your inner calm, then subscribing is a simple yet meaningful act. Because subscription is not an attachment but a direction toward your inner voice, toward depth, toward reducing noise. This channel aims to offer you a safe place for thought through such videos and philosophical reflections. To continue this, subscribing means joining this silence. Every subscription represents a shift from noise toward meaning, from distraction toward insight. If you liked the video, pressing the like button is not approval but kindness, a quiet but clear way of saying, "This helped me." This signal helps these thoughts spread and allows more people to encounter this awareness. Awareness spreads when it touches someone, who then passes it on, forming a chain. This process is gradual, developing through recognition and feeling, like silence. Silence arrives suddenly but can transform lives. Sharing this video may be the most effective step, because sharing opens a door in someone else's world. It tells someone, "You are not alone, there is depth, silence is not something to fear." Most people never seek these ideas because external noise surrounds them so much that they do not have the opportunity to understand silence. By sharing, you create that opportunity. This is not merely kindness but a transmission of awareness. Awareness spreads, expands, and grows. At the end of the video you may ask yourself, who am I, and who do I become in silence? This question alone is a journey of discovery. You are not alone in this journey. We are here, communicating, thinking, gaining awareness. Each of you makes this space more meaningful, deeper, and more real. Because true connection is formed not with crowds but with meaning, and meaning arises in silence, but grows when shared. Therefore, if this video touched you, comment, leave your thoughts, share, subscribe. Because this is not merely the growth of a channel, it is the growth of awareness. It is the expansion of connections formed in silence, the spread of inner transformation. Perhaps one day these thoughts will open new doors in someone else's life. Perhaps they will lighten another's burden. Perhaps they will guide someone back to themselves. And all of this begins with a video, a moment of awareness, and a sharing. Thank you for choosing silence. Thank you for choosing yourself. And thank you for joining this journey. Here, in silence, we grow together.